Hello, this is Marek Nelson at PDE Solutions, and in this video I want to discuss one of the more difficult processes in an OBJ export, which is having multiple objects with shared interface. So for example, if you have two cubes of differing material, how to export that properly so FlexPDE can assign material properties and boundary conditions. Now I've already done it in this case, and I will show you the end result first, and we can look at the process of how to create it afterward. So the first thing to notice is I have two objects. This one is named small, and this one I have named big. I have, in the standard fashion, extracted a face on this end that I called back so that I could apply a boundary condition. I extracted this face on this side, which I grouped it and called it front, so I can apply a boundary condition. Now the difficult part is at the interface where these two objects touch, you need to have identical meshes. You can't just make two separate objects and place them next to each other because the grid may be arranged differently. So you have to manually create a uniform, or not uniform, but create a mesh on one of them and then duplicate it into the other. Anyway, we'll go over that later again. So here you can see I have also an inner mesh that I have not given a group name. I have this contact here that I have actually given a group name so that I can apply a boundary condition to it. Then of course there's the remaining mesh for each of those two objects, but they are not grouped and do not have names either. So to summarize, I have these three open meshes named for material 1, and these three open meshes named for material 2. I have extracted and grouped faces on the outsides to apply boundary conditions, and I have a matched grid at the interface, in one case not grouped named, and in one case grouped, so that I can apply a boundary condition. You may not always want to apply a boundary condition, but I do, so I'll put those back there. Then you would export this in the usual fashion, and this is what you would see in FlexPDE. I have already imported this and deleted some of the extraneous, unused groups, and I have adjusted some of the parameters here for the conductivity and for the boundary condition so that I could see something interesting. In this case I put a contact boundary between the two objects. I have a high conductivity in the small material so that the value of U will flow out of it easily. And here you can see I have big square next to the little square, and there is a contact boundary here with a discontinuous value. The small is got a very large value that flows out quickly because of the high conductivity, and the low conductivity in the big cell. Now, in the next video I will show how I actually made these individual pieces.